Every successful person you admire has one habit in common that they rarely discuss publicly. They treat learning like an addiction, spending money on education that others spend on entertainment, and investing time in skill development that others waste on social media and television. These people understand that in a knowledge economy, your earning potential is directly proportional to your learning velocity, which means the faster you can acquire new skills, the faster you can increase your income and career opportunities. The gap between people who learn daily and people who learn occasionally is not just a difference in knowledge, it is a difference in lifetime earnings that can exceed $2 million over a 30-year career. While you debate whether you have time to learn, your future competitors are already mastering the skills that will make them irreplaceable in tomorrow's job market. Right now, at this very moment, 95% of working adults have stopped learning anything new about their profession. They graduated from college, landed their first job, and made a decision that will destroy their future. They decided their education was complete. These people are now competing against the 5% who never stopped learning, who treat every day as an opportunity to become more valuable, more skilled, and more irreplaceable. The result is predictable and devastating. Lisa Martinez thought she had it all figured out. She graduated with a business degree, got hired at a respected insurance company, and settled into what she believed was a secure career path for 15 years. Lisa did the same job using the same skills she learned in college. She was competent, reliable, and comfortable. Her performance reviews were consistently good. Her salary increased modestly each year. She felt safe in her expertise and confident in her value to the company. Then artificial intelligence arrived in her industry like a hurricane nobody saw coming. The underwriting processes that Lisa had mastered over 15 years were suddenly automated. The client relationship skills she had developed became secondary to digital platforms that handled most customer interactions. The knowledge that made her valuable in 1995 was completely obsolete by 2010. While Lisa had been standing still, the world had been racing forward at an accelerating pace. The company offered Lisa a choice: retrain for a new role that required technical skills she did not possess, or accept a severance package. At 43 years old, with a mortgage and 2 children, Lisa found herself competing for jobs against people who had been learning new skills every year for the past decade. Her 15 years of experience meant nothing because that experience was in systems and processes that no longer existed. This is happening to millions of professionals right now across every industry. The knowledge that got you your current job is becoming worthless faster than ever before in human history. Studies show that technical skills have a half-life of just 2 years in most fields. This means that half of what you know about your profession will be obsolete within 24 months. In technology fields, this timeline is even shorter. Some programming languages and platforms become outdated within 18 months. But the problem goes deeper than just technical obsolescence. The fundamental nature of work itself is changing at a pace that makes continuous learning not just helpful, but absolutely essential for survival. The jobs that exist today may not exist in 5 years. The companies that dominate industries today may be replaced by startups that do not even exist yet. The skills that make you valuable today may become automated tomorrow. The compound effect of learning works like a financial investment that pays exponential returns over time. When you learn something new every day, even for just 30 minutes, you gain 182 hours of new knowledge and skills each year over 5 years. That becomes 910 hours of learning, equivalent to 23 full work weeks of skill development. Meanwhile, your colleagues who stopped learning remain exactly where they were 5 years ago. But the world around them has advanced by decades. The mathematics of this situation are stark and unforgiving. People who commit to daily learning improve their value in the marketplace by approximately 2% each month over a year. This becomes a 24% increase in their professional capabilities. Over 5 years, they have more than doubled their value, while their non-learning competitors have actually decreased in value as their knowledge becomes outdated. Traditional education taught us exactly the wrong lesson about learning. Schools and universities convinced us that education is something you complete, like a project with a defined beginning and end. You study for tests, you graduate, you receive a degree, and then you apply what you learned for the rest of your career. This model worked when careers lasted 30 years and technology changed slowly. Today, this approach is professional suicide. The most successful people in every field understand that their degree was not the end of their education, it was barely the beginning. They treat learning like breathing, something essential that happens every single day without exception. They read industry publications during breakfast, listen to educational podcasts during commutes, take online courses during lunch breaks, and study successful people in their field during evenings and weekends. Research from Harvard Business School shows that professionals who spend at least 5 hours per week learning new skills are 3 times more likely to receive promotions than those who do not invest in continuous education. They earn an average of 47% more over their careers and are 85% less likely to experience periods of unemployment. These are not small differences. These are life-changing advantages that compound over decades. The lifetime earnings gap between continuous learners and educational stagnators is staggering. A person who commits to learning new skills for just 1 hour per day will earn approximately $1.2 million more over their career than someone who stops learning after graduation. This is because their increasing value in the marketplace translates into higher salaries, better opportunities, and more career options throughout their working life. But the benefits extend far beyond money. Continuous learners develop what psychologists call adaptive confidence, the knowledge that they can master any new challenge because they have proven to themselves repeatedly that they can acquire new skills when needed. This confidence transforms how they approach opportunities, negotiate salaries, and respond to industry changes, while others fear change. Continuous learners welcome it because they know change creates opportunities for people with current knowledge and skills. The tragedy is that most people know they should be learning, but convince themselves they do not have time. They spend 2 hours watching television, but claim they cannot find 30 minutes for skill development. They scroll through social media for an hour, but say they are too busy for online courses. They have time for everything except the one activity that could transform their professional future. The choice you make about daily learning will determine whether you join the 95% who become obsolete or the 5% who become irreplaceable. This decision will affect every aspect of your life for the next 20 to 30 years of your career. Your brain is the most sophisticated learning machine ever created, capable of forming new neural pathways and acquiring complex skills at any age. Yet most people treat their minds like museums, preserving old knowledge rather than creating new capabilities. The scientific revolution in our understanding of neuroplasticity has shattered the myth that intelligence is fixed and learning ability declines with age. Your brain remains capable of dramatic improvement throughout your entire life, but only if you understand how to activate its learning mechanisms. James Thomson discovered this truth at age 45 when his manufacturing job disappeared overnight. For 22 years, he had operated machinery in an automotive plant, believing his hands-on experience was his greatest asset. When the factory closed, James faced a choice that would define the rest of his life. He could accept that his career was over and settle for whatever low-paying work he could find, or he could prove that a middle-aged factory worker could master entirely new skills. James chose learning. He enrolled in a coding boot camp and committed to studying programming for 4 hours every evening after his temporary warehouse job. His classmates were mostly recent college graduates who assumed they had natural advantages in learning technology. James proved them wrong through sheer determination and superior learning strategies. While younger students relied on cramming and memorization, James approached coding like he had approached factory work, with systematic practice, careful attention to detail, and relentless consistency. 18 months later, James landed a software development position with a starting salary that exceeded his factory wages. Within 3 years, he was earning twice what he had made in manufacturing. His transformation from factory worker to software engineer demonstrated that the human brain remains capable of mastering complex new skills regardless of age or background, but only when learning is approached with the right methods and mindset. The science behind James's transformation reveals why daily learning creates such dramatic results. When you learn something new, your brain forms fresh neural connections between different regions. These connections strengthen through repetition and application, creating what neuroscientists call enhanced cognitive architecture. The more you learn, the easier it becomes to learn additional new skills, because your brain develops more efficient learning pathways. This is why successful professionals often appear to master new areas effortlessly. They are not naturally gifted. They have trained their brains to learn efficiently through years of consistent practice. Their advantage comes from superior learning systems, not superior intelligence. The 1% improvement principle explains how small daily gains create massive long-term results that appear impossible to outside observers. When you improve any skill by just 1% each day, you do not simply become 365% better over a year. The mathematics of compound improvement mean you actually become 3.678% more capable, nearly 38 times better than when you started. This exponential growth explains why people who commit to daily learning often experience sudden breakthroughs that seem to come from nowhere, but are actually the inevitable result of accumulated improvements reaching a critical threshold. Most people fail at continuous learning because they fundamentally misunderstand the psychology of skill acquisition. They expect immediate results and abandon their efforts when progress feels slow. They compare their beginning efforts to the expert performance of others and conclude they lack natural talent. They attempt to learn too much too quickly and become overwhelmed by information overload. These psychological barriers prevent them from accessing their brain's remarkable learning capabilities. Successful learners understand that skill development follows predictable patterns that can be optimized through proper techniques. They know that initial confusion is not a sign of inability, but evidence that their brain is processing new information. They expect learning to feel difficult and uncomfortable because that discomfort indicates they are pushing beyond their current capabilities into new territory. The difference between active learning and passive consumption determines whether new information becomes permanent knowledge or temporary awareness. Passive learning, reading articles, watching videos, or listening to podcasts without application, creates the illusion of progress while producing minimal actual improvement. Your brain treats passively consumed information as entertainment rather than important knowledge that needs to be retained and integrated. Active learning requires engagement, practice, and application. When you read about a new concept, you must immediately find ways to apply that concept to your current work or personal projects. When you learn a new technique, you must practice it repeatedly until it becomes automatic. When you study successful people in your field, you must experiment with adapting their strategies to your own situation. Research from cognitive psychology shows that people retain only 10% of information they read passively. But remember, 90% of knowledge they apply immediately. This is why successful professionals always combine learning with practice. They do not simply collect information, they transform information into capabilities through deliberate application and repetition. The compound interest effect of knowledge accumulation means that everything you learn today becomes the foundation for more advanced learning tomorrow. Basic concepts you master this month will enable you to understand complex strategies next year that would be incomprehensible to your current level of knowledge. Each new skill you develop increases your capacity to acquire additional skills more rapidly. This is why people who've been learning consistently for years can master new areas in weeks or months, while beginners struggle for years to achieve basic competence. The continuous learner has built extensive mental frameworks that allow them to quickly organize and integrate new information. They have developed pattern recognition abilities that help them identify the essential principles within any field of study. Your learning velocity, the speed at which you can acquire new skills, increases dramatically with practice. The person who learns something new every day for a year develops learning abilities that are literally 10 times more efficient than someone who learns sporadically. This acceleration effect means that the gap between continuous learners and occasional learners grows exponentially over time rather than linearly. The most successful professionals treat learning like physical exercise. They understand that consistency matters more than intensity. 30 minutes of focused learning every day produces better results than occasional weekend study sessions of several hours. Daily learning creates momentum, builds habits, and allows your brain to process information during sleep, between learning sessions. Understanding these principles transforms learning from an overwhelming challenge into a manageable daily practice that produces extraordinary long-term results. The key is not natural talent or available time. It is applying proven learning methods consistently until they become automatic habits that require no willpower to maintain. The difference between people who transform their careers through learning and those who remain stuck in mediocrity comes down to one simple principle, the 30-minute rule. Every morning at 5:30, i.e. before checking emails or starting any other activity, successful professionals dedicate exactly 30 minutes to learning something that will make them more valuable in the marketplace. This non-negotiable commitment creates approximately 182 hours of skill development each year, which equals almost 5 full work weeks of concentrated learning. Rachel Williams understood this principle when she was working as a mid-level accountant at a regional firm. Her salary had plateaued, her responsibilities remained unchanged year after year, and she watched younger colleagues with technical skills advance past her into management positions. Rachel realized that her traditional accounting knowledge, while solid, was becoming increasingly less valuable as software automated many basic accounting functions. Instead of accepting career stagnation, Rachel implemented the 30-minute morning learning rule with surgical precision. Every day before work, she studied digital marketing, business analytics, and client relationship management. She chose these areas strategically after researching which skills were most in demand among accounting firms seeking to modernize their services. Rachel did not learn randomly. She learned with specific career objectives in mind within 6 months. Rachel had acquired enough digital marketing knowledge to propose new services to her firm's clients. She developed social media strategies for small business clients and created automated email marketing campaigns that generated measurable results. Her accounting background gave her unique insights into the financial aspects of marketing that pure marketing professionals often missed. 2 years later, Rachel launched her own consulting practice, specializing in financial marketing for professional service firms. Her combination of accounting expertise and marketing skills created a unique value proposition that commanded premium fees. The 30 minutes she invested each morning transformed her from a replaceable accountant into an irreplaceable consultant, earning 3 times her previous salary. The key to Rachel's success was identifying which skills to learn based on market trends and personal goals, rather than learning whatever seemed interesting. Strategic learning requires analyzing your industry to identify emerging opportunities, studying job postings for positions you want to hold, and researching which skills command the highest salaries in your field. Every professional needs 4 types of knowledge to remain valuable and advance their career. Technical skills are the foundation. These are the specific abilities required to perform your current job at an expert level. Without mastery of technical skills, no amount of other knowledge can compensate for basic incompetence in your core responsibilities. Business skills encompass understanding how organizations operate, how decisions are made, and how value is created and measured. These skills include financial literacy, project management, strategic thinking, and organizational behavior. Professionals who understand business principles can contribute beyond their narrow technical role and position themselves for leadership opportunities. Communication skills determine how effectively you can share your technical knowledge and business insights with others. This includes writing, speaking, presenting, and interpersonal relationship management. The most technically skilled person in any organization will have limited impact if they cannot communicate their expertise clearly and persuasively to colleagues, clients, and management. Technology skills have become essential in every field, not just technology companies. Understanding how to leverage software, automation, and digital tools makes you more efficient and valuable regardless of your profession. These skills also future-proof your career against technological displacement by ensuring you can adapt to new systems and platforms as they emerge. Creating learning habits that stick requires linking new learning behaviors to existing daily routines. The most effective approach is morning learning before any other activities begin. Your mental energy is highest in the morning, you face fewer interruptions, and completing learning first thing creates momentum for the entire day. Evening learning often fails because mental fatigue makes concentration difficult and competing priorities interfere with consistency. The structure of effective daily learning sessions follows a proven formula. Spend the first 5 minutes reviewing what you learned the previous day to reinforce retention. Dedicate 20 minutes to new material, focusing on one specific concept or skill rather than trying to cover multiple topics superficially. Use the final 5 minutes to plan how you will apply the new knowledge to your current work or personal projects. Technology provides unprecedented access to learning resources, but this abundance creates new challenges. Information overload occurs when you consume more content than you can properly process and apply. Successful learners carefully curate their information sources to include only high-quality, relevant content that directly supports their strategic learning objectives. The most effective learning resources combine multiple formats to accommodate different learning styles and reinforce retention. Books provide depth and comprehensive coverage of topics. Podcasts allow learning during commute time and physical activities. Video courses offer visual demonstrations of complex concepts. Online communities enable discussion and application of new knowledge with peers facing similar challenges. Applying knowledge immediately after learning cements the information in long-term memory and transforms theoretical understanding into practical capability. When you learn a new concept, find ways to use it within 24 hours. Discuss new ideas with colleagues, implement new techniques in current projects, or teach the concept to someone else. Application converts information into skills and skills into results. Tracking your learning progress maintains motivation and ensures continuous improvement in your learning effectiveness. Keep a simple log of what you study each day. Rate how well you understood the material and note how you applied the knowledge. Review this log weekly to identify which learning methods work best for you and which topics require additional study. The compound effect of consistent daily learning becomes visible after approximately 90 days when new knowledge begins connecting with previously learned concepts to create insights and capabilities that exceed the sum of individual learning sessions. This is when learning transforms from feeling like work into feeling like discovery and growth. Most people underestimate their learning capacity and overestimate the time required to master new skills. 30 minutes of focused daily learning can make you conversational in a new language within 6 months, competent in basic programming within a year, and knowledgeable about any business topic within 90 days. The limitation is not your ability to learn, but your commitment to consistent daily practice. The learning system that transforms careers is simple but not easy. It requires discipline when motivation is low, consistency when results are not immediately visible, and faith that small daily improvements will compound into dramatic long-term advantages. This system has worked for thousands of professionals across every industry who decided to take control of their professional development rather than leaving their future to chance. Benjamin Carter stood at the crossroads of his life at age 32, earning minimum wage as a night shift security guard and watching his dreams slip away with each passing year. His high school friends had moved on to careers, families, and financial stability, while Benjamin felt trapped in a cycle of low-paying jobs that led nowhere. The breaking point came when his supervisor, 5 years younger and fresh out of college, told Benjamin he would never amount to anything because he lacked ambition and intelligence. That night, Benjamin made a decision that would redefine everything about his future. He committed to learning for 2 hours every single day, without exception, regardless of how tired he felt after work or how hopeless his situation seemed. While his co-workers spent their break time complaining about their circumstances, Benjamin studied business administration, financial planning, and leadership principles using free online resources and library books. The transformation did not happen overnight, but it happened consistently. After 6 months of disciplined learning, Benjamin had acquired enough knowledge about personal finance to help his co-workers create budgets and debt reduction plans. After 1 year, he had learned enough about business operations to identify inefficiencies in the security company's scheduling and reporting systems. After 18 months, Benjamin had developed the confidence and competence to apply for supervisory positions in other companies. 3 years after starting his learning journey, Benjamin was hired as an operations manager at a logistics company with a starting salary that was 4 times his security guard wages. 5 years later, he became a regional director responsible for multiple facilities across 3 states. The same supervisor who had told Benjamin he would never succeed was still working the same security job, complaining about the same problems and making the same excuses. Benjamin's transformation demonstrates how continuous learning creates unshakable confidence that transforms every aspect of your life. When you prove to yourself repeatedly that you can master new skills and overcome intellectual challenges, you develop what psychologists call learned optimism, the deep belief that you can handle whatever obstacles life presents. This confidence affects how you speak, how you negotiate, how you approach opportunities, and how others perceive your capabilities. Continuous learning provides the ultimate career protection in an economy where job security no longer exists, while others worry about layoffs, industry changes, and economic downturns. Lifelong learners welcome these disruptions because they create opportunities for people with current skills and adaptable mindsets. When entire industries transform overnight, the people who have been learning continuously are the ones who capitalize on new opportunities while others struggle to adapt to change. The learning portfolio you build over years of daily education becomes your most valuable professional asset. Unlike degrees that represent past achievement, your learning portfolio demonstrates current capabilities and future potential. This portfolio should include certificates from online courses, evidence of projects where you applied new skills, testimonials from people who benefited from your knowledge, and documentation of results you achieved through continuous improvement. Building an effective learning portfolio requires strategic documentation of your educational journey. Keep records of every course completed, every book studied, and every skill acquired. More importantly, document how you applied this knowledge to create value in your current position or personal projects. Employers and clients are not impressed by the quantity of courses you have taken. They want evidence that your learning translates into practical results. Tracking your progress systematically maintains motivation during periods when learning feels difficult or results seem slow. Create monthly reviews where you assess which skills you have developed, which knowledge areas need additional attention, and how your learning has contributed to your professional advancement. This review process helps you identify the most effective learning methods for your personality and schedule while ensuring you stay focused on skills that support your long-term career objectives. Maintaining learning momentum during difficult periods requires understanding that obstacles are temporary, but the benefits of education are permanent. When work becomes demanding, family responsibilities increase, or financial pressures intensify, the temptation to abandon learning grows stronger. Successful lifelong learners reduce their learning time during these periods, but never eliminate it completely. Even 15 minutes of daily learning maintains the habit and ensures forward progress continues. The key to sustaining long-term learning discipline is connecting your educational efforts to compelling personal reasons that motivate you through difficult times. Benjamin learned relentlessly because he refused to accept a future of financial struggle and limited opportunities. Rachel transformed her career because she wanted to prove that traditional professionals could master modern skills. Your learning motivation must come from deep personal desires that are stronger than temporary discomfort or inconvenience. The legacy effect of your learning habits extends far beyond your own career advancement. When family members, friends, and colleagues observe your commitment to continuous improvement, they begin questioning their own approach to personal development. Your example gives others permission to invest in themselves and demonstrates that transformation is possible at any age or circumstances. Children who grow up watching parents learn continuously develop fundamentally different attitudes about education and personal growth. They learn that learning is a lifelong activity rather than something that ends with graduation. They observe that knowledge creates opportunities and that people can reinvent themselves through dedicated effort. This modeling effect influences their own career choices and success patterns throughout their lives. Your learning discipline also creates ripple effects in your workplace and professional community. Colleagues notice when someone consistently brings new ideas, techniques, and insights to projects. Your reputation as someone who stays current with industry trends makes you the person others turn to for advice and collaboration. This reputation accelerates your career advancement and creates opportunities that would never be available to professionals who stop learning. The compound benefits of lifelong learning extend into every area of your life. Financial literacy improves your investment decisions and wealth building. Health and nutrition knowledge enhances your energy and longevity. Relationship skills strengthen your personal connections and family dynamics. Communication abilities improve every interaction you have with other people. Each area of learning enhances your overall quality of life while contributing to your professional success. The time to begin your transformation through daily learning is right now, at this moment, before you finish reading this sentence. Every day you delay is a day of potential growth that you cannot recover. Every month you postpone is a month your competitors use to become more valuable while you remain static. Every year you wait is a year of compound learning benefits that you forfeit forever. Your future self is watching your current decisions and waiting to see whether you will choose the path of continuous growth or settle for gradual obsolescence. The person you become over the next 5 years depends entirely on the learning choices you make starting today. Excellence is not an accident. It is the inevitable result of small daily disciplines practiced consistently over time until they transform your capabilities and your life.